Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be doing several tags. The day and night tag, the inside and out tag, and the crazy book buying obsession tag. I don't think I was tagged by anybody for these, I just tagged myself, and I want you to do the same. Leave all the info of who made it and all that jazz down below, so I'm just going to get right to it because it's going to be long. And yeah, day and night tag is an acronym for, day through night. D, do you read more in the morning or at night? It's a mixture. I really don't have a good answer for that because I read whenever I have the time, quite honestly. Sometimes there's days where I read a lot in the nighttime. Sometimes there's days I read a lot in the day. I don't know. I usually don't, if they're talking about like early morning, then no, because I work and stuff. So maybe it's afternoon and night. Hey, are there any books that changed the way you thought about things? I can't really think of any that comes to mind. Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe 1984. I think maybe 1984 may be a good one. Why? YA or not? My favorite genre is YA, but I don't solely read YA. I don't think you should stick to one genre and read it and just read that genre alone because it's, you need to explore your options. So I read YA, I'd say a good 80% of the time, but the other 20% I try to read a lot of adult fiction. I like to read biographies. I read some nonfiction, not a lot, but I don't just read YA. So I hope that answers that question. A, are there any characters that you honestly believe are real? I'm gonna say no for that because they're all fiction and I don't really, I don't see Ronald Weasley. And nobody touches my books or I don't mind loaning my out. Kind of iffy on both. There have been, I'd say at least 5 books that I have no clue where they're at right now. I mean, I know that they're with that certain person, but I have no clue whether I'm going to get them back or not. So right now, I'm very hesitant on giving out books. I give them out to people I know that will give them back to me, which is not very many. E, do you ever smell your books? No, I mean, no. And not everyone loves books. Is this a positive or a negative? I mean, it really depends. I don't expect everyone to like books. I would love it if everyone likes books, but not everybody does. My husband, he does not like books. He would maybe read if I paid him a good amount of money, but he wouldn't read because he doesn't enjoy it. Does that make him any less of a person than me? No. It's everybody's preference. I keep my books in the best condition or maybe not. Which are you? It's sort of tricky. As awful as to say, I'm kind of messy with my books. I know that's so bad. That's so bad. I mean, I don't know how to say that. I do dog ear. I know. It's so awful, but I don't always have a bookmark, and I figure it's my book anyway, whatever. If I want a pristine copy, I'll buy a new one. That's just for me. To me, dog earing is just showing that you've read the book and are interested in it. That's me, and I also sometimes spill things on books because I do read when I eat a lot of times. I sit down on the table and I open my book and I read, and sometimes something happens. I don't say I've had anything drastic happen to them except for my Harry Potter ones, which are just because they've been read so many times, so I guess I do not keep my books in the best condition, but I mean, I think they're decent. They're not I don't think if you would see them, you'd be like, she has a problem with keeping her books neat. Gosh, I have too many books, true or false? True. I don't know if you can see, but I just rearranged my bookshelf after my bookshelf tour, which if you have not seen, I'll leave it right here for you to go watch it. And I moved some books upstairs, and it's still pretty freaking full, so I have too many books. H, have you ever spilled or stained in your books before something, and if so, how? I explained that in a previous answer just 2 answers ago, so you guys already know. T, toned or untoned while reading, or in other words, do you read and work out at the same time? I've tried this a couple times, but I cannot, and that's the reason. I mean, some people can. I think they have, that's awesome for them. I cannot do that because my mind is focused on, I guess, working out, and also because I'm on a treadmill and I do a random incline, so I'm constantly this high walking, so sometimes it's hard to read. I do watch movies on my Netflix account because I just nonchalant to them, and I like that better than music while working out. I don't know why. It takes my mind off of the pain of it, so I do not read while working out, but I will listen to an audiobook. I'm going to do the day and night tag. Please do it and leave it as a video response below. I would love to see your answers. The next one I'm doing is the inside and out tag, and this is also an acronym, so let's go. I, inside/back of the book summaries. Too much info or not enough? Discuss. Sometimes it depends. There's some that are too much and some that are not enough. I can't really think of a good book that does a great job at it, but I can think of several books that give me, like, they're super long. I think the last Mortal Instruments, like, book jacket thing was, like, long, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. In new book, what form do you want it in? Be honest. Audiobook, ebook, paperback, or hardcover? Hardcover for me because I just think they look the best. I do have a lot more hardcovers than I have paperbacks, and that's strictly because I found them at really good prices. That's the only reason why. If I could buy a lot of books in paperback, I would, but I like hardback better because they stay open more when you put them on flat surfaces, where paperbacks kind of just like, shoo. Does that make sense? Yes. Scribble while you read. Do you like to write in your books, taking notes, making comments, or do you keep your books clean, clean, clean? I do not scribble in them. I don't write notes like off to the side, like margins. I don't do that. I've answered in the other video. It's really pouring right now. If you can hear it, sorry, and the lighting's awful. I answered in a previous tag that I try to keep my books clean, but sometimes that doesn't happen. In your best voice, read for us your favorite first sentence from a book. Okay, I do not have one, so let me know what your favorite is. Maybe I'll like him. It doesn't matter to you whether the author is male or female when you're deciding on a book. What if you're unsure of the author's gender? Quite frankly, I really do not care about that. I don't ever look at the author and say, I can't read this because a man or woman wrote it. I don't even really look at that. E, ever read ahead, or have you ever read the last page way before you got there? Do confess thy sins, foul demon. I am sorry to say that I read ahead sometimes. I do sometimes read the last page too, because I am awful with spoilers. When it comes to TV shows, when it comes to books, I want to know what happens immediately. I do not like being surprised at all. I like to know what's happening, and that is so bad, because as a reader you shouldn't be. You should like anticipate it, but I just want to know. I just want to know what's going to happen. I want to know what the end game is, and that is so bad, and I am so sorry to tell you guys that. But I know I'm not the only one, so I don't feel that bad about it. Oh, organized bookshelves or outrageous bookshelves? Organized bookshelves all the way. I just reorganized it after my bookshelf tour. You, under oath, have you ever bought a book based on the cover alone? I can't say that I have. I really don't do that often. I make sure I read the description before I buy it, because I don't want to waste my money on something I would definitely never ever read. And T, take it outside to read or stay in. If it's the fall time, which is coming up, which is my all-time favorite season ever, I will always go outside. Other times, I will be inside. I love reading inside, I love reading outside, but not in the heat. That was the inside and out tag. If you guys want to do the tag, please leave it as a video response, and I would love to see your answers. And for my last tag is going to be the crazy book buying obsession tag. And this one should be interesting. Do you have an obsession with buying books? Yes, I do. I buy. I just buy too many, and it's ridiculous. And I know my husband hates it, and I should probably go to support group for it. When, where, and how often do you buy your books? Do you go with anyone else or just by yourself? 100% of the time, I'm usually by myself, because I hate taking my husband to a bookstore, because I can be in there for hours mulling over 2 books to buy. Because a lot of times I buy books, if they're like regularly priced, I will say I can only buy 2 and 2 alone, and I like need to make a crucial decision about it, and it takes me forever to decide. So I always try to go by myself. What kind of things attract you to books when you're browsing them? Is there a specific genre of books you automatically go and look at? I always go look at the YA, that's probably my #1, and then I just peruse, but I always generally go to the YA because it's my favorite genre, but I don't just read YA. Prefer to buy new, used, or a mixture of both? A mixture of both. I have no problems with used. I go to thrift stores all the time to try to find scour. I will not buy books that are in really, really deadbeat condition, because I don't think there's any point in that. But if they're in decent condition and they're used, that's a win-win right there. How much are you willing to spend on books each month? I have no answer to this. I've spent 0 on books in a month. I've spent maybe 50. I think the highest I've ever done is maybe 70 in a month, but I've gotten a lot of good chunks of books from that, with that money. Like the 70 people probably think, oh, 7 books, because they're $10 a piece. With $70, I can do a lot with $70 if it was just for books alone. Ever gone on any book buying bans? No. I probably should though, but I probably won't. How long does it take you to get around to reading recently bought books? Right now, there have been so many good new releases in the past 6 months that I'm getting to them rather quickly. It used to be they sit on my shelf for another 6 months, but I'm really just trying to strictly read from my shelf, occasionally from the library, but I don't have an answer to that. Right now I'm doing pretty decent at it, so I'd maybe say a couple months. Is that good enough? Do you prefer to buy a lot of shorter, cheaper books or just a few longer, more expensive ones? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't have that many large books other than my Harry Potter series. I think Eon's pretty big. I think Nevermore's pretty big. When I see big books like that, they kind of taunt me a little bit, to be honest with you. And if you mean short, like that short, I try not to buy those either. I try to buy at least, like, a good amount of book, maybe that much. I think that's a decent amount of book. Is it? Anything else to say about these awesome obsessions? I don't think I have anything else to say. I think I've talked way too much, quite honestly. Who are you tagging? Oh boy. I tag everybody. Yay, everybody. Everybody's probably sick of that. But seriously, if you haven't done a tag video, please do it. They're pretty fun to do it, and a video is a video. So I tag you, viewer, you. And leave it as a video response. I promise you I will watch it. You probably won't see me for a while. I'm going on my road trip next. Stay tuned, because since my A Day in the Life of Bookables got such good feedback, I will be doing them monthly. Yay! And this is going to be a montage of what I do during the month. So stay tuned for that coming at the end of September. If you guys like that idea, please comment below and tell me, or if you hate it, let me know. Either way. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great week.